Testing, can you hear me? I'm not as loud on that one. 7, 7, 7. There you go.
Shut up!
I'm ready. You're ready.
What's up, guys? Here's another episode of
FitTechs.
I'm Max Bard,
Matt Shandy.
and this is it.
Today's topic?
We're going to talk about certifications and which certifications to get. I mean, there's so many certs out there. So, Matt, being a guy that's been in this for a long time and has a lot of certifications and all these different.
It's
what
a
what
fetish,
are the
really.
ones?
Well, a certification is you have to be certified as a personal trainer, CPT, in order to get a job at a gym or to be a trainer. So that's our goal. But which one do you choose? It's like choosing in college. What's good for you? What are the best classes? Well, first of all, a lot of times when we choose these things, price is a big option. Whether the cheapest or the most expensive, and just because it's the most expensive doesn't mean it's the best. They range from about $300 to $2,400 in your cert. But it's the educator or the instructor of these that makes the biggest amount of difference. For example, NASM, the NASM, is probably the best certifying agency out there as of right now.
I'd say that's the most well-known.
Most popular.
That's what everyone talks about.
Now that one is really neat, but that one is almost too in-depth. I mean, they talk about tendons of the foot. They talk about a lot of things that as a trainer, kind of outside your scope maybe. Perhaps if you want to go down that realm, you're going to find a niche and go for more and more schooling. Vice versa, some of the other ones, let's say NFPT, you only have to know about 26 muscles, give or take. And is that enough? I don't think so. It's enough to get started. Like anything else, the CPT or the Certified Personal Training course is the start to your personal training career.
What are gyms looking for? Out of all these, we have a list of, I guess these are the top 5, but how do you choose which cert you're going to get? Is it dependent on what gym you're planning on going to, or what's the difference in having like a NASM certification and an ACE or NFPT? Why does it matter which one you choose?
Well, I think that's a great question. And one being, what gym do you want to work at? If I go to 24-hour or LA Fitness, they pretty much allow any of the 30 that are certain nationally accredited agencies. And then they judge you on your knowledge. So whether you know just the basics of the course you took or that was the beginning and you went further, they're going to hire you on you and your knowledge. If I go to a smaller studio where it's a lot more one-on-one, hands-on, the instructor has a personal preference. Like if my boss says I only hire NASM trainers and I want to work at that gym, I need to be NASM certified. There's some great ones out there, the Paul Chek Institute. There's some other ones that are way more expensive that aren't nationally accredited that people will hire you from, but 24-hour fitness, for example, may not.
We have NASM, which looks like is the most expensive out of all of them. It could go all the way up to, $3,000 if you add up all the study materials and you get all that, which when taking these tests, I'm just a pure guess out of looking at this sheet. NASM looks like it's the hardest test, or at least it's the most expensive to get their materials. So I guess when also choosing a certification, which one to get, do you want to start off with the easier certification, or do you want to start off with what looks like the most expensive certification that covers everything?
How important is work to you, I guess? If I know a lot of stuff, for example, my dad was a trainer, I've been doing football since I've been 12, I know how to lift, I know a lot of stuff, that maybe an easier certification gets me a job quicker, and I can go back to NASM or some of the more difficult ones and take my time learning them, and then it's not as urgent for me to do that. Vice versa, if I was going to do it, I would want the hardest to best because I want to go get a job right away and I want to have a foot above everybody else. Now, ACE is a great course, NFPT is a great course. I'm not taking anything away from any of these. They each have a certain niche or certain points that I do like on them. But NASM for sure is the most in-depth of all these. It's the most time strenuous cert and the most expensive.
Okay, now I guess another thing is, I've met a couple of trainers that have certifications in like 2 different certs. I'm certified in everything. What's the point?
Cool.
What's the point of getting 2 or 3 or maybe 4 certifications?
The biggest thing as a certified instructor or trainer is you want to diversify, same as a financial portfolio. If I get an ACE CPT, the Certified Personal Training Program, and then I go get a NASM certified training program, well, I'm basically regurgitating the same thing. So I'm going to have it memorized pretty well. So whether I'm NASM certified, ACE certified, ACSM certified, well, that's fine, but it doesn't really mean anything unless you're at like a 24-hour fitness, for example. Then you get raises in how many certs you have. It's a way to make more money. Let's say I stay with just ACE for an example. ACE has a program for personal training. ACE has a program for nutrition. ACE has a program for training geriatric. Well, now if I take the different courses of ACE, so now I'm ACE certified CPT, geriatric training, and spin class, for example. That would be better than to have an ACE CPT, NFPT, CPT, a lot of T's and P's and T's here, right? And then in the ACSM. Diversify and know as much as you can over every range.
Okay, so it basically, the more certifications you get, the easier it is for you to get a raise inside of your gym. I look at these tests and what I see is, okay, this is going to be another SAT. Are there essay questions or short answer questions on these tests, or is it all multiple choice?
It's a mixture, and it depends on the organization that you go through, the serving agency. For example, NFPT is 120 multiple choice questions, period. It's a pretty easy course to take, unless you're bad at testing. Now, ISSA is a lot more of a written exam. So now it's more online, and back when I took these, you had to write them all up and then mail them in and get graded on, back in the old 1800s. On these days, it's all computer, so that one I haven't done, but the ISSA is a lot more writing. They want you to understand it, not just be able to regurgitate it, but to explain it in their terms.
And what is the ISSA?
International Sports Science Association.
Okay.
One of the 30 that are out there. NASM, for example, the one we talked about, that is also one of the better ones. And you'll argue about that all day long, which is the best. That has a lot of multiple choice, and it has some essay questions. So you kind of get a little of each.
Cool.
If you have the money, it's good to know every angle, because as you become a trainer, typically the progression goes from trainer to manager to gym owner, and you kind of spread your knowledge. But if you're a client and you've hired tons of trainers, would you want a trainer just certified as NFPT, or someone came to you and said, here's my card, and you see NFPT, NASM, ACE, you're like, oh, this guy's been around the block. He knows everything. So it does give you a little leg up. Just a question on whether that's worth it for you or not.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, as a client, I had a lot of different trainers in terms of to help me with basketball, football, and sports-specific type of trainers. Certifications wasn't even a thing that I was thinking about. It was more of, are these guys that are training me, are they coaches right now at the college, or are they players at the college? And I thought that was cool, and then I would train with them. And a lot of them actually ended up being pretty good. So how important is it to get a certification?
If it's a career for you, it's very important. And a big thing is most trainers, once you become certified for so long, you know everything. A lot of people let it go. Safety-wise, insurance-wise, you have to carry it. Vice versa, if I'm working with a school, for example, and I'm one of the coaches on there, and I've already been certified once, or not certified, but read the book, if that boss hires me and my knowledge is solid and base and I'm safe, then that's awesome. But you got to think about is you can't insure me as a trainer if I'm not certified. You are training the body. You do want to be certified to an extent because you do want to know that you're safe and that we can insure you and that you're taking care of yourself.
A lot of people that I know that are trainers are, they've been training for a while now. They do a lot of sport-specific training because they used to play the sport in high school or college. So, they feel like they know enough stuff to actually do the training. But a lot of them are not certified, and almost all of them, actually all of them that I know, are not insured. As a client, why do you want someone that's insured?
Let's say, Julia Michaels isn't insured. She's known as one of the best trainers out there. Argument. You can argue that one all you want. I will. That's just joking.
You kind of caught yourself there.
I'm like, oh no, I'm going to pay for that one later. So if she's really good and she all of a sudden says, you know what, I'm tired of paying for insurance. I haven't used it yet. It's a waste of my money. And you know who I am, so I don't have to worry about it. That's fine, and she still has, the insurance doesn't give her knowledge. But in the same instance, is if she's pushing my body to the absolute reach or the extent my body can go, what's going to happen is sometimes injuries happen. It happens all the time to all of us. Well, if I lose work, or if because she was telling me to do bad form, and I get injured, well, who's taking care of me? And the insurance takes care of the trainer. If that trainer is serious and this is their full-time job, it's the same with any business. The business has to have general liability and protective insurance. When I go to a chiropractor, I want that guy insured. He's snapping my neck. Whether he is or not, it doesn't change the care I get, but it makes it safe when I'm going to a professional. Those other ones that are doing it aren't professionals. They're not paying for their certs, they're not paying for their LLCs, and they're not making it a priority. My safety should be their priority, and that's what that insurance is doing, making sure that they'll take care of me even when I am injured. I want somebody that has value and has their, put the money where the mouth is. I say we wrap it up. I mean, I think it's a great episode for people understanding it.
Yeah, and let us know if you have any questions about these certifications. I won't be answering them. This guy will.
I know a few things. I'll regurgitate it back to you guys, all right? So thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching another episode of
FitTechs. Thank you very much. Touch the rock.
Have fun. Yeah. We don't rub the belly of the Buddha over here. We
bang the rock.
Basketball. It's a basketball.
On a rock.
on a rock. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to YouTube.
For us, and thank you for watching and taking the time. And please let us know anything else in the future. Have a great day.
Have fun training.
Peace.
That's a really deep piece.